Good morning. Welcome to Vita day 26 or 25. Oh no, it's Saturday. I'll fix it in post. Going on a little walk before I have my Saturday breakfast, get my day in order. And I'm too excited. I know what I'm going to do for my video today. I'm going to watch the newest episode 3 of The King, Eternal Monarch. Did you see that? I said it right the first time. Oh, man. And give you my thoughts. And I was literally too excited about it to wait and do an actually good intro where I have makeup and slightly better lighting, but what better than natural lighting where the sun is just beating down on my face and blinding me. But yeah, that's what we're doing today. So let's get to it.
All right, let's get into episode 3 of The King, Eternal Monarch. We left off in the last episode with King Egon stating that the detective is now his queen and he's planning to stay in the universe for a little while longer to be with her. In this episode, we learn more about certain characters and discover more about the magic of the pillars the king and his uncle have passed through. And that apparently they're not called pillars, they are actually called obelisks. I didn't know what an obelisk was, so I had to Google it. And apparently it's a stone pillar, typically having a square or rectangular cross section and a pyramid top set up as a monument or a landmark. Obviously the king calls it an obelisk, so makes sense because he's a huge nerd. We find out through Egon's detective reasoning that he needs to have the flute on his person to be able to open the gate and go through. At the beginning of the episode, he tries to show the detective the obelisks that he came through in the bamboo forest, and they were nowhere to be found. But apparently he had been theorizing that it was because before he had the flute piece with him, and that's why he was able to see and go through the portal. He confirms this theory later on in the episode, but in the beginning, he's already pretty sure about it. We also learn how nerdy the king is in this episode. I mean, the head court lady in the last episode did mention that when he last disappeared is because he was working on a math problem or something like that. But we really get a glimpse into this aspect of his character in the episode. Because pretty much the way that he tells the detective that he likes her is that she's like his favorite number, which is 0, and goes into a whole explanation about why 0 is his favorite number and how powerful it is in regards to math and money. So after all that goes down, for the rest of the episode, the detective is spending her time trying to solve her current case by finding the murder weapon, and Egon is of course finding ways to meet up with her, including showing up at her father's Taekwondo academy and hanging out there for a little while, getting some coffee with him. He also takes her car out on a little joyride after fixing it and then appears in front of her and Detective Kong while they're trying to defend themselves against a group of thugs. We get to see some of Egon's fighting skills in the scene, and even though he was doing it to protect the detective, she was not impressed and really didn't need the protection. A little backstory that you may need to know is the leader of this gang has a past with Detective Kong, and apparently Kong put him in jail a few years ago, and the Detective Kong seems to have a sordid past as well. He also seems to know something about the parallel universe. He recognizes the symbol on Maximus's saddle, and he asks the king about it later. Detective Teal also finally gets back the DNA results that she had taken of Egon's, and of course there is no one related to him in Korea, and he is not in any other systems. I don't know if this makes her start to believe that he could be from another universe, but I feel like she's starting to think that he's not as crazy as he appears. At least that's the sense I get when she meets him at the restaurant after she gets the results. She, wants to confront him and be like, what the heck is going on? And he's, of course, not surprised that the DNA doesn't match because the earth is round, girl. We're also introduced to the new recruit that is joining the violent crimes unit, and he's immediately mistaken for a criminal. But seems like he's going to be some good comic relief and help the team out because he does actually end up finding the murder weapon. On the kingdom side of the universe, they are still trying to keep the news that the king is missing under wraps. So the head court lady hires Song Ha to handle the king's social media account, as well as mislead the public of the king's whereabouts and use social media to basically distract them and think that the king is present. Very sneaky, I must say, but also like that's kind of wrong, but it's a show. We also see little snippets of the Prime Minister's life outside and inside Parliament and the power struggle she seems to be having with her party, as well as the government in general. I think it's regarding some laws she's been trying to pass or did pass involving money and their income. We also get to see a little glimpse into what Egon is up to and planning. He seems to be back in the kingdom parallel universe, and I think he's like getting an army together. I can't tell if he knows that the king is in the current Korea universe or if he knows that he's just gone. But it seems like Egon is taking advantage of this situation, and he's definitely planning, scheming. Things are gonna go down. Maybe in the next episode, I don't know. Another scene that might be important is the Prime Minister goes home to visit her mom and rest, or maybe she lives there, I don't know. But there's a walking stick that the mother says a customer left. And weirdly enough, that walking stick looks just like the walking stick of Egon. Egon? Yeah. Not too sure what this means, but I guess that this is some sort of foreshadowing, or maybe he's got cut the flutes in two halves. I don't know. Yeah. We also find out that Egon can stop time. He has this weird episode of some kind of spark causing pain on his shoulder the evening when it's raining, and then the next day when he meets up with the detective, time just suddenly stops. When this happens, he obviously assesses the phenomenon, but also decides to use this moment to get really super close to Teal and just admire her beauty, which she does look very beautiful in that scene, but still a little creepy. Once he figures out how the gate opens, he pretty much decides, the detective's being mean to me. I've been gone from the kingdom too long. I think it's time for me to go back. And so he informs the detective of this and starts planning his journey back. And that's how the episode ends. Overall, I really liked the episode. I liked the addition of the new characters. I really liked learning the backstory of Detective Kong. I think that's going to be very interesting, and obviously there seems to be a love triangle of some sort going on there. I am very interested to see what happens in episode 4. I'm definitely going to watch it after this. I don't know if I'm going to recap it though, but really loved this episode. Oh my gosh, the time freeze. Like any time in a show when they do that sort of stuff where it's like a mix of, just time stopping and then the person interacting with like the stuff around them, like just the petals, how the flowers or cherry blossoms or whatever it was falling from the trees and him just sort of brushing it out of the way. Oh, it was just beautiful. Absolutely beautiful. And I highly suggest you watch this episode and the series so far. I'm thoroughly enjoying it. And I think that's it. I really want to see what the evil uncle is up to. Because things are a brewing on his end, but that's about it. I think I covered everything I wanted to cover in this episode. I hope you enjoyed the recap. I hope you enjoyed my thoughts, and I'll see you tomorrow. Bye.